it's not only with Anansi. I don't know. People have a way of, over the years, kind of a cut in the word, because it was first Anansi. Then somebody over the years, I don't know, may have forgotten the right name and said Anansi. And then finally, now they're saying Nancy. Nancy stories, like that.
En la cultura Akan, originalmente era la segunda persona de la deidad, la deidad de Odomancoma, o más bien Ñame, tenía tres manifestaciones: Odomancoma, Anansi y la deidad de la femenina, ¿verdad? Que es Asase ya, que es la tierra, es el poder de la tierra, ¿no?
Había diferentes funciones, diferentes nombres para cada dios. Y había uno que servía de mensajero entre los dioses y el ser humano.
Originalmente jugó un papel un poco preocupante en el sentido de que en algún momento robó secretos a Dios para traerlo a la tierra. O sea, desde el principio era así como medio él.
One long time ago, when time wasn't even time, Brother Anansi visit Ñame, the heaven gods, as what them say, in order to beg him bucket a story. But Ñame, a part of being God, he not lego them the story so easy. So him give Anansi some hell of a task, next to impossible for done, promising him that if him get through with them, him will give him all of him story. Bring to me Onini, the python snake. Bring to me Osebo, the furious leopard, and Morobo, the stinging honeybee. According to Ñame, them the things are impossible for an insignificant spider like Anansi do. But behind the prediction of Ñame, Anansi fool Onini, the python snake, getting him tied up with a whisk with the excuse that one limb is as tall and as strong like a him. To Morobo, the stinging honeybee, him simulate one rain, getting them flied in a calabash. Him set one trap on the ground for Osebo, the leopard, pretending a rescue, after leaving him tie up on a tree branch, then carry all three to Ñame. Ñame was so surprised about Anansi's amazing task that he never have nothing else to do than give him all of the story.
Yeah, I always imagine this Nancy supposed to be someone that was, I don't know, well dressed and sharp looking and super smart guy.
For me too, it was like sneaky, bad, but like he had legs because he represent like something really bad, but not as a human. For me, he was like an insect, but big and bad. I believe that she was like a spirit. But my mother always said that Anansi was a spider. So, I imagine a spider.
Sí, a veces mujer, es hombre, es ser humano, originalmente Dios también, parte de Dios.
Picture Anansi as a spider, but you saw today that Anansi appears in different forms, human form, animal, different forms. And Anansi, he is the star. He is the star. So whenever you hear a story, don't let them tell you, and the star doesn't lose. He is always coming out winning.
Anansi era el tejedor del universo, ¿verdad? No es que es parte de la deidad, ¿verdad? Es como si dijéramos la Trinidad y él es una de las personas. Y su función era tejer el universo, es el que teje el universo.
I was speaking one day with a lady and she said it's from Africa origin. That's where it comes from.
I found out that it came from Africa, from a magazine I read. But when I was young, really, I didn't know where it was coming from. Well, the only thing that I know that I enjoyed the stories, but to know where it was coming from, but now I know that it originates from Africa.
My uncle Vinel used to come from Le Mans, so he used to tell us, you know, in the night we used to be scared, so we always sitting at his feet and holding his pants, you know, because we're so scared. Sometimes the Anansi story is so, you know, scareful.
A lot of the story that I get is through my mama and papi. And I always remember that moonlight, like now, but maybe on a full moon, we would sit just like this, and papi would sit here, and we all would sit on the steps, down, and we'd listen to these stories. But you were younger, and then we would pass on the story to you.
Well, that exactly it was that way.
Yes.
I remember, as you said, it was moonlight, and after we played, we sit down, and then you counted these.
Yeah, we tell stories,
Tell
and
stories,
Nancy
right,
stories.
Right. Nancy stories. and
Yeah.
Final del día, normalmente final del día, en actividades, normalmente nos reuníamos un grupo de muchachos y los mayores le contaban a los menores, ¿verdad? Si había algún abuelo o algún papá o mamá, o si no, simplemente muchachos mayores que uno, eran los que nos contaban a nosotros y ahí se iba transmitiendo de una generación a otra.
Well, the most of the people used to, on the porch, and they used to, like say, unite when there were moonlight, when the moon come out, because there were no electricity, so everything was dark. So when moonlight, everybody sit down on the porch and they tell all the story, whether they were lie or true, but everybody enjoyed them because you didn't have anything else to do.
So I suppose these parents used to look at the spider in the web, and they would say how smart he was. You know, he would go around and build his nest, and any animal, a snake, I mean, not a snake, a roach or whatsoever, and he would drop in the trap. He could never get out again. So they thought, you know, well, one day we will be so smart that we will get out of this type of living. And there is where they began to teach their kids. When they get home from their work, when they get through with their work, they would, at nights, they would sit around and they would imagine these stories. And that's the reason why Anansi stories, you doesn't read it. You got it oral, they are oral. And so these parents would, you know, tell this story and tell them that they are smart and they could reach far and they would go far advanced in life. And there is where Anansi began. There is where Anansi began.
Su telaraña era lo que servía de unión entre los que estaban asentados en esta parte del Atlántico y los de África. Entonces, en ese momento cumplía un rol específico, que era el de mantener viva la tradición, de mantener los vínculos con África.
In first place, Anansi's origin from South Africa, from the time of slavery, when the black culture was living in slave. Then after they came over to Jamaica, and when Limon was about to build a railroad, they brought workers from Jamaica, and there a lot came to Limon, and there is where they brought to us Anansi.
when he used to tell us, you know, and like that, and Papa would say, Papa, tell me another Nancy story, and you know, about a dog and all kind of a thing, yeah. So more or less can remember some of them.
And my father used to feel good. He would always stop what he's doing and always want to tell us. He would never get weary, he would never get tired. He always ready just to tell us.
Even this had a famous story about Brother Tiger, how Nancy took away Tiger's girlfriend, remember?
Yes.
That
Hello, beautiful girls, especially you.
You're so gallant, Brother Tiger.
You are go see. In that house over there, some nice young girl live. Brother Tiger, I'm in love with one of them. Precisely the same one where Brother Anansi like. So when Brother Anansi find out that, he decide to set one trap for Brother Tiger. How are you girls? You hear that? Brother Tiger come visit you often? You know, accept him here often?
Oh yes, Brother Tiger. He's a nice boy, very polite and respectful.
Oh no know something? Brother Tiger after me riding us. No, that can't be, replies the girls. Me I go show you then uno will see.
Presenta la insurrección y la victoria, ¿verdad? Del esclavizado ante el amo, ¿verdad? Y a propósito del cuento del caballo de montar, ¿verdad? Que es uno de los más difundidos, ¿verdad? El hecho de que Anansi monte al tigre, ¿verdad? El tigre es el emblema, la adaptación del león en América, o en las Américas, ¿verdad? Es una forma de montar al amo, ¿verdad? De llevar el control, tomar el control que le es negado por los esclavizadores.
Es el enfrentamiento del esclavizado frente, digamos, a un orden que lo oprime. Es decir, él está ahí prácticamente indefenso frente a fuerzas muy poderosas, ¿no? Y está luchando, pero sus posibilidades de vencer, pues, excepto en el caso de los cimarrones, es muy poca, ¿no? Y entonces Anansi va a cumplir la doble función de reivindicador, pero también como un instrumento para enseñarle a los niños que la astucia y no la bondad, entre comillas, es lo que va a permitir la sobrevivencia.
Brother Tiger, that true what Brother Anansi say? That you are him riding us?
And that him say, me I go look him to clear out this yasin thing.
Well, Anansi, in every story, she was the bad one. She always bad and always spiteful, always tried to do wickedness to all the other Brother Tiger and Brother Alligator and all of them.
He's a trickster. He's very smart. He never loses. He always wins. However disastrous the thing might be, Anansi must always advance.
Come in. Wait, are you that? What a great honor, Brother Tiger. You better stop your nonsense and tell me why you tell them the girl that me are you riding ass. Brother Tiger, oh me I go tell them the girl that? Them a liar. Well, if you go down there with me we trash it out. Brother Tiger, I can't go down there with you right now. Me sick. And My back a hurt me. Me can't walk. Well, you better do something, or something I go do you. Tiger, you are my friend. I go with you, but you have to carry me on your back, cause me can't walk. Okay, but you go tell them the girl that me not, nor your papa riding ass. Bet pan that, brother Tiger. Bet pan that.
Nancy was a tricky fly man, you know, he's a spider, but they call him a man. He was very tricky fly.
Es como dos caras de la moneda, ¿verdad? Es bueno, pero también es malo. Es astuto.
Me I go with you, but me I put one seed on your back so my body won't hurt me. And Nancy, for God's sake, get on me back. Me can't climb. Wait, me I put this tiny little card and this little thing so me can get on your back. Put anything you want, man. But for once, let's go. Me ready, brother Tiger, but please, no gallop.
Este personaje ha podido sobrevivir durante todos esos siglos, pero ha podido sobrevivir adaptándose a las nuevas circunstancias. Como decía Lina, en vez del león es el tigre, en vez de ¿cómo se llama? De hare, no recuerdo cómo se dice en español, ahora es el conejo, ¿verdad? Entonces se va adaptando según las circunstancias locales y eso le ha permitido sobrevivir. ¿Y sobrevivir para qué? Con su mensaje de que hay que enseñar la astucia, hay que enseñar a los niños para que puedan sobrevivir dentro de una realidad que es opresiva, ¿verdad? Para mí eso es la peculiaridad más grande, es la capacidad de sobrevivencia del personaje, ¿no?
Sí, en complemento a esa sobrevivencia, el ingenio, ¿verdad? Para sobrevivir, es decir, las salidas más ingeniosas, ¿verdad? Más inesperadas siempre, ¿verdad? Que complementan esa sobrevivencia. Si Nancy no fuera tan inteligente y tan ingeniosa, no hubiera trascendido tanto tiempo, ¿verdad?
También la capacidad que ha tenido para invisibilizarse cuando o más que invisibilizarse, invisibilizar su mensaje. O sea, dentro de algo festivo, inocente, son cuentos para divertir, son cuentos para pasar el rato, va el mensaje, es casi subliminal, ¿verdad? De lo que se quiere transmitir.
No way, I go clear this yasin thing.
Sure, brother Tiger.
G up, Tiger. See girls, see girls, see girls, see girls. Oh no, see girl, oh no, see when me tell you that brother Tiger have me riding ass.
Why no kind of Nancy story going on? Because that tradition dead.
Hey, Elias, you don't know nothing about brother Nancy. You don't know nothing about brother Nancy.
It's not that young, the guy don't.
Well, I think one of the ways to bring back Nancy's story to the home, it would be have to be that we that know about it, that still remember and have an idea what it was like, start telling them, you know, maybe even write it too and showing them what it meant for us in those days. That kind of keeping us together, and maybe also telling them in a very attractive way, you know, that they will like it, they will listen, and, you know, I think stuff like that.
My personal experience is that with my nephews, the little ones, I had spent time with them, so I would tell them these stories, and I noticed they enjoy it a lot. So I think, as my brother mentioned, you need time. If you have time to involve the kids in this conversation, they would listen to you. And they would even ask questions. They want to know about these personalities and what they are.
Well, nobody, because there is television and all kind of different places for kids that nobody tell kids of that again. When I was telling my son last night about it, he said, but mother, you didn't tell us.
You can even invent stories to tell them if you have the time. Because sometimes they themselves are tired of the television, but if there is nothing else to see, you know, they will continue to watch television. So parents put television as babysitters, and then they do other things, you know, adults. Because I'm an auntie and I am not really their parents, so I could spend more time with the kids than their parents.
I don't know if it's because we don't have time or we just think it's something that, you know, it's forgetting.
Well, I'm going to tell you something that doesn't pass it on. And in days gone by, when we were kids, we didn't have a television, we didn't have a radio, we didn't have almost nothing, but we were very happy. At nights, my mother, we would sit there and we would wash our feet, getting harder, and my mommy would make soursop tea. You know what is soursop tea? Las hojas de guanábana. Soursop tea and fried cake, arepitas con harina, and we would sit there and she would tell us story, and that was so beautiful. And we were so happy, we were satisfied. So each night we would be, you know, on weekend it was much more. So we were very happy. We were poor, but very happy.
Ahora, en este momento, usted va a Limón y la vida de Limón es otra. Hay una mezcla grandísima de personas que vienen de diferentes partes de Costa Rica y de América, de otros países de América. Así es que al mezclarse, las tradiciones varían, por eso, porque responden a ciertos momentos, responden a ciertas circunstancias, y al cambiar esas circunstancias, la tradición se cambia para responder a los intereses de momento.
Una lengua es una forma de pensar el mundo, ¿verdad? No son solamente palabras, ¿verdad? Que se usan diferentes palabras para decir lo mismo, sino que realmente es la cultura. La lengua conlleva la cultura. Es un caso interesante, por ejemplo, cuando uno ve los cuentos recogidos por Carmen Lira o por María Leal de Noguera, que es la misma tradición afro. Eso es de los pardos de Costa Rica, los mismos de la Virgencita de los Ángeles y todo eso, ¿verdad? Lo mismo Juan Santamaría y todo eso, son de eso, que dejaron ahí su huella. Bueno, esos cuentos se adaptan mucho a una, digamos, una realidad que no es, ¿verdad? Entonces va a ser el conejo, etcétera, ¿no?
Bueno, y yo pienso también que la lengua, ahora el inglés criollo, es un símbolo, un signo de identidad, ¿verdad? Para los afrocaribeños, ¿verdad? Los afrocaribeños que tuvieron la presencia inglesa, ¿verdad? Porque, digamos, el mismo inglés criollo que se habla en San Andrés, Providencia y Santa Catarina es el mismo inglés criollo de Limón. Es el mismo que se habla en Belice, que se habla en Bluefields, que se habla en Bocas del Toro, que se habla en Jamaica. Entonces, ese signo de identidad es muy importante y es repetido y transmitido también por los cuentos de Anansi, ¿verdad?
La única razón por la que no es un idioma oficialmente reconocido es porque no hay un estado. Si es un estado, ya sería el idioma oficial de ese estado.
También está vinculado al hecho de la prohibición que se hiciera de hablar inglés en las escuelas, con el interés de que se aprendiera un español correcto y sin acentos. Pero al cerrar esas escuelas y los jóvenes, los niños, no poder hablar inglés en las escuelas como una cuestión del Estado, como una norma del Estado costarricense, comienza a perderse el idioma, el prejuicio además que tiene la población costarricense con relación al inglés criollo, de considerarlo y por pura ignorancia, de considerarlo como, descalificarlo como un inglés de menor categoría.
They come and say, you talk patois. I don't talk no patois. You know, you talk, make I tell you. I don't talk no make I tell you. Make I tell you is nothing. You know, so, but if you accept it, yeah, yo hablo make I tell you. No, nadie te habla make I tell you. That's stupidity.
Talking about patois, I'd like to clear that up because many times I've heard that even on the television, they mention patois. The patois is English mixed with French. That's why the patois is. So this is an English, I would call it a Caribbean English. It's just an English that is Chardin. The word are Chardin. So those are some of the things that really makes the black culture diminish.
Well, I can remember sometimes the Spanish guy would say negro chumeco. Instead of saying, I don't know, maybe he wanted to say Jamaican, but maybe he couldn't say Jamaican, he said chumeco. And it was kind of hard because we don't understand. I remember I used to read, Mama me ama. I don't understand. Mama me say, I don't know what is that. Esa es mama. Years after, oh, that's what it meant, huh? We didn't know. And could read Spanish, but don't understand. I even remember this too.
Anansi know inside of him that him no wise. But him a very good smarter. Him have the ability to fool anyone abroad. The fact that him no wise make him spend a lot of time figuring out how to change the reality, which bother him so much. If me could have gathered all the wisdom of the village and put it in a one calabash, me would have certainly wise. Look who ya, me would have been the wisest of all. I found the right one.
So this is my personal experience, you know, so when I went to Spanish school, I knew a little English, not little Spanish, nothing at all. So in the area, the school area, the teacher would say, no English, no English. Okay, so we were like very quiet. No, the black kids, you know, were very quiet. So then he was very mean, the teacher. You know, you were second graders. You go up and they said, you, come over here. Venga para acá. You go. What you had today for lunch? Yo comí ñame y bacalao. Usted es un tico. Usted es un negro. So what will happen after a long time? You don't want to eat nyame no more. You don't eat bacalao no more. And then he says, it was hard, very hard for the kids. And no, you know, that's how all this happened to the son. I have friends that grow up and says, I don't eat nyame. I don't eat cocoa. Hey, come on. Breadfruit. Oh, I don't eat breadfruit. Because they tell you you're not a tico. You're a negro. And you know, you say, well, I want to be a Costa Rican, so let's stop eat this.
Costa Rica tomó la decisión en un momento dado, en los años 60, 50, 60, de que para hacernos costarricenses tenían que quitar la lengua. En español, en Limón éramos bilingües. Nosotros hablábamos el inglés estándar, que es el inglés que se usaba en las escuelas, que eran durante los primeros 50 años solo escuelas de inglés había. Es el inglés que se habla en las iglesias, es el inglés que había que utilizar con los mayores. Yo en mi casa no podía usar el criol para dirigirse a mis abuelos. Yo hubiera sido severamente castigado. Y luego estaba el criol, que es el que uno usa en la calle, con tus iguales, etc., ¿no?
I didn't have much experience on that, but I do know that that type of psychological effect work on the black. So you try to minimize your culture. Mm-hmm. You know, just keep it out. So that's one of the reasons why I believe that all these stories start to diminish, mm-hmm. because you want to say you're not black.
Yeah. Who wants to talk about Anansi? Because if you talk about Anansi, you're black. So why talk about him? Kids don't want to hear about Anansi. But I'm glad that in our family we still eat nyame and we eat breadfruit and do everything that the parents taught us.
Anansi go from door to door, begging everyone to give him some knowledge, experience, caution, and common sense. The people laugh superstitiously. Half a poor Anansi, out of everyone in the village, him are the most ignorant and for fool, so him need a little wisdom. So if we help him, all of them pour out a little of them knowledge in a Anansi calabash and wishing him luck and prosperity in a him research.
Bueno, el Estado costarricense se empeñó en desarraigar el inglés, porque en la definición de aquellos tiempos, para ser costarricense había que hablar español, ser católico, apostólico y romano, y blanco. Bueno, no encontraron la fórmula para blanquearnos la piel, pero sí la mente. Y se hizo todo un esfuerzo para, digamos, convertir al limonense negro en, entre comillas, costarricense. Para mí, incluso se castigaba el uso del español, del inglés en las escuelas de español.
I live that, you know. See what I'm telling you? These black kids, they're not ticos, they're negros. Oh my God, it's horrible. And then you know what else I go through? They would say to you, he had watched the police, kids, he put them to watch you, you know, and all the little black kids would be talking English, speaking English out there. So when recreo, and as the recreo is over, he said, all you guys, come over here. Everyone, stand over there. So he would have you all this, and repeat like I don't know how many times, no habla inglés, no habla inglés, no habla inglés, no habla inglés. And that's why we have to rescatar all this cultura, because it was being killed.
And another thing is that sometimes we go to school, yes. We get good schooling, yes. And our teacher teaches us how to speak correctly. We can do it, yes. But sometimes when you meet others that is of a lower grade and you try to speak to them, they don't understand it. And there is another thing too, is this, that sometimes the well-educated one doesn't know how our vocal, what you would call our
broken language.
yeah, that's right. So no, we don't want them to know. So something that we want to do, and that educated man is there. So I tell you, make we go way down there. So and the man don't know anything. But if I was to say, let us go, that man would be looking to make we go down there. So and the man don't know anything, and it's right there. Sometimes we even tell. Sometimes the man is there, and we want to know where he is from, where he come from, you know, and he don't know that we are asking where he is from because it would be maybe offended about it.
Para mí ha sido muy divertido porque yo soy profesor de inglés y entonces digo yo qué curioso, ¿verdad? Primero me hicieron todo lo posible para quitarme el idioma y ahora me han pagado millones de costarricenses para enseñarle a sus hijos a hablar inglés. ¿En qué quedamos?
Being a Nancy Calabash full up of the knowledge, you might look some place to hide that the treasure. Me surely be the wisest man on earth. But if me no get a place to hide me calabash, quickly me will lose it.
They always tell you in English because all of Nancy and brother Tiger and brother Alligator and brother whatsoever, they always tell us in English because, you know, Spanish was a different style of telling stories, and I said these people used to invent these stories just to keep their children active, or, you know.
The Anansi, some of the words that he uses, not even, you can't even understand him. So these, the young one, they try to imitate it the best they can, but you can't understand some of Anansi words. Yes.
I would say because is the feelings, the language, the mother language that we born in, hear daily, practice daily, so it becomes part of us, so it's just natural.
Es que yo pienso que naturalmente eso va a depender de la región de donde estés hablando, porque si estamos hablando de Costa Rica, efectivamente lo vamos a tomar de la provincia de Limón y por lo tanto del inglés criollo, historias que nos llegan de Jamaica. Pero por ejemplo en Colombia lo tenés tanto historias en el Pacífico, en donde naturalmente es el castellano, y lo tenés en las islas de San Andrés y Providencia, entonces otra vez del inglés criollo. Entonces decir que Anansi, que su idioma sea el inglés criollo, no, eso naturalmente va a depender del contexto del que estemos hablando, del pueblo geográficamente en donde estemos posicionando estas historias.
Every university went and he filled it with common sense. ¿Ve? Caminó, fue en avión, fue en todo lo que pudo. Y fue y agarró un montón. Ahora regresó a su casa. Common sense, Anansi came back home. And Anansi says, uy, where me hago put up all mi common sense? ¿A dónde voy a esconder todo mi sentido común? Porque no quiero darle a nadie ni un poquitito así. Entonces, Anansi salió al patio. Anansi came out to the backyard. Anansi looked up and there was a huge tree in the yard. So Anansi said, uy, ahí arriba lo voy a esconder. Me hago hide all the common sense on the tree top. Because I love it. From I was growing up, I love this story. I love, because Anansi is our hero. Because as our forefather, or, because they are our forefathers, they thought that we would one day we would able to improve our lives. And that's the reason why today our duty is to train up our children, to teach them what is right.
Él lo que está haciendo para mí en todos sus cuentos, ya sea como antivalores o valores positivos, es en realidad dando un mensaje que realmente hay que saber comprender qué es lo que él nos quiere mostrar. No es decir no, porque es que él es un embustero, no, sino entender qué es lo que trae, qué es lo que nos está mostrando y entender que no porque se es grande, poderoso, se gana la guerra. Las batallas se ganan por astucia más que por fuerza física, y eso es en realidad, ya sea como antivalores o como valores, que él en todas sus historias de una u otra manera, eso es lo que nos está enseñando.
As I told you, it could teach you how to be diligent with your parents or with your family, because as I told you, Anansi lay down in the bed every day and the wife have to work.
That was that general work then.
Yes, that was ahead. He said that he was working. So now it is a lesson for us to know that we should work to take care of our children. And Nancy don't know how to do that. And he lay down, and when the wife would go to work, he said that he was sick, and she would give him the best and things. So it's a lesson really. Sometimes even when we listen to it, we say, what a shame, Nancy shouldn't do a thing like that.
Entonces, ¿por qué es importante que los cuentos de Anansi permanezcan? Bueno, primero porque por la tradición que significa, porque es una forma milenaria de poder entender la cultura afrodescendiente y afrolimonense en particular para nosotros, pero también para poder entender el mensaje, cuál es la moraleja que los cuentos nos dejan.
If me get to hide this here wiseness on this here tree, me won't have a fret if it lose it or that somebody a go thief it.
And the children were so happy and surprised. And many times, you know, I tell stories sometime at the college. They invite me to school. Up to last week, they were inviting me, but the hours I could not. College and school and university and different places. And at time when I'm on the street, I would hear someone say, Anansi, see the lady that tells Anansi? Or you go and you see some kids looking at you like that. They're looking at you and you say, hello. You is the one that came at my school and tell the stories. I say, yes, I am.
El hecho de que se estén, que haya maestras que estén enseñando los cuentos de Anansi en las escuelas, ¿verdad? O, por ejemplo, yo trato de hacer una sección también sobre el Caribe, ¿verdad? Y ahí les enseño los cuentos escritos, pero también les pongo grabaciones de cuentos limonenses, de don Walter Ferguson, ¿verdad? Para que lo escuchen, ¿verdad? Es decir, cambia.
What you doing, Pa?
Today, thanks be to God and science advanced, today we can read, we can study the stories, we can get them written, but in times past gone by, it was just oral. So if you are going to tell Anansi story, it's not right for you to read it. You could study it and then put the book aside and then you tell it oral, because that's a must.
Entonces se han publicado en forma escrita, se ha hecho recopilaciones, ¿verdad? Hay ya un buen número de autores. Entonces eso permite poner en manos del niño algo que de otra forma ya podría desaparecer, porque compite con la televisión y compite con los cuentos y mitos del Valle Central.
La particularidad que tiene Anansi también de reivindicar a los sectores que fueron invisibilizados por la presencia de los estados nacionales, ¿verdad? Independientemente de que hayan sido Limón, Costa Rica, ¿verdad? Jamaica, siempre se hizo presente el Estado Nacional, pero la peculiaridad de Anansi con sus trucos la hizo subsistir y permanecer, ¿verdad? Y también a mí de los rasgos que más me gustan es lo contestataria, ¿verdad? Que resulta la araña, ¿verdad? esa posibilidad de seguir criticando y seguir exigiendo, ahora cuando las cosas no se hacen bien, ¿verdad? En un contexto de tanta corrupción y tantas malas intenciones, ¿verdad? De denunciar, ¿verdad? El rol de Anansi debe ser también siempre de denuncia, ¿verdad? Y por supuesto de reivindicarlo, como dice Queens, en algún programa, ¿verdad? Que se incorpore, que sea obligatorio, ¿verdad? Y que se enseñe realmente la importancia que ha tenido este personaje a lo largo de siglos.
Se trata de reivindicar a Anansi para que utilizarlo. Los valores cambian, pero lo que Anansi representa en el fondo hay que utilizarlo con los niños. Y es un personaje riquísimo para contrarrestar otros personajes que nos vienen de afuera. Yo sueño hacia el futuro que habrá, no sé, ¿qué será? Un juego de video, no sé qué habrá en el futuro, pero yo pienso que Anansi va a evolucionar y adaptarse a la nueva tecnología.
Are we up there that you are climb the tree? Now to come Anansi answer nervous. Me a climb up here to put me treasure, but it look like me can't make it. Papa, where you not put it on your back? So you will climb plenty better. Me had walked through and out all the places, collecting all of the wisdom. And look now, me picking showing more wiseness than me, said Anansi. That is how Anansi share out knowledge all over the world. Flowing from that the moment, wisdom is for everybody, everywhere.